The Leafs just pulled off one of the craziest wins of their season against the Tampa Bay Lightning in a game that saw tons of crazy things, including Matthew Knies shine and Ilya Samsonov struggle. And we also have Mitch Marner making Leafs history. So I'm going to break all that down in this episode of Leafs Digest. But before we do, a quick reminder to hit the subscribe button, as we notice a large percent of you guys who are watching are not subscribed to the channel. So go down, check as we pump out 1 to 2 Leafs videos per day. Let's just get right into the game, and what a crazy game this was today. Coming into the game against the Lightning, we needed a win. We needed it badly. Samsonov got the start, and it did not start well for him. So let's just get right into the box score, and there's a lot of things we can discuss today. Let's just start with the brand new top line tonight. That's Austin Matthews have 2 goals, 1 assist. Marner have a goal, 3 assists. Knies have a goal, 2 assists, and I don't even know how to put this into words. The game started off so negatively. The crowd, there's so much to get into. The crowd was really, really electric in a bad way. They booed Samsonov off the ice. The game started rough. Obviously, the first period, we saw a few bad things. We also saw some okay things as well. We saw Matthew Knies immediately make an impact, scoring a goal in the first period. And that was a phenomenal start. Obviously, Knies got moved up to the line with Austin Matthews. And one of the big storylines coming into the game tonight was, how will Matthew Knies do with Austin Matthews, and how will the Leafs respond to the criticism that's been surrounding the team over the past week and really the whole season because of their struggles and because of, a lot of their losses, specifically their last loss at Buffalo, which was the worst loss of the season. How would they respond? Of course, you had the Liljegren injury, which is looking pretty severe. You had all the dramatic stuff with Sheldon Keefe, Ryan Reeves, Tyler Bertuzzi, and they came out today and they did respond, and they did so in a crazy fashion. The first period, like I said, so we go down 3-1 after the initial goal for Matthew Knies. Samsonov's getting booed. Samsonov gets pulled after giving up 4 goals. Everyone is upset. Ilya Samsonov is obviously upset. And on comes Justin Woll to save the day. He comes in, and Justin Woll does what he's been doing the entire season. Obviously, he had a couple of rough starts over his past couple of games compared to where he was earlier on in the season. And Samsonov had a decent start in his last outing, so it kind of makes sense for why Sheldon Keefe may have went with him against the Tampa Bay Lightning. One of them was coming off a good start, one of them was coming off a bad start in Justin Woll. And then ultimately, it didn't really pay off as Samsonov struggled greatly. And they were pretty soft goals as well. And the crowd was absolutely letting him have it. They were mad. They were sarcastically cheering Sammy, if you heard it. And then they booed him off the ice. And it was a rough go. And I feel for him. He's obviously been the first to say he's been struggling throughout the season. And hopefully he can bounce back from this. But Justin Woll, on a positive note, came in and didn't give up a goal till 2 or 3 minutes left in the game, which we'll discuss later. But overall, a phenomenal performance from Justin Woll. Unfortunately for Ilya Samsonov, it's going to be interesting to see who gets to start in the next game. We'd assume Justin Woll, but we don't really know with the way that things have been going. They've kind of been a 1A, 1B tandem as of late, but Samsonov is 2 hit or miss at this point. Let's touch on some of the guys who did great stuff here. We have a lot of people to talk about today. Järnkrok got the overtime goal. He scored another goal. Huge game for him, and you love to see that from the guys who obviously aren't your main scorers. Speaking of main scorers, we had Austin Matthews put on another clinic. Thought he was going to get another hat trick. He had 2 goals. Second period, he did major damage. 2 goals, 1 assist. Mitch Marner had an absolutely beautiful top shelf shot. He had 3 assists. He had 4 points, and he made history, which we'll get into in a little bit. But there's just so much that went on in this game. I don't even know how to get it all out. After that first period of absolute disaster, they come out and they respond in the second period, cutting the lead of the Lightning down to only 4-3 on the back of Austin Matthews. And Justin Woll stood strong, didn't let up another goal, didn't let them get back in it or extend their lead even more. And then in the third period, we saw the boys fully bounce back. Justin Woll stopping every shot, and then we take the lead after tying it up 4-4. We take the lead 5-4. Everyone is going crazy. Obviously, Mitch Marner, unbelievable game out of him. 4 points, which is, we all know Mitch Marner starts slow in October. The Leafs always start slow in October. But Nick Robertson, phenomenal to see him getting assists as well in his first game as a Maple Leaf this season. Just tons of positives today. The only negatives were obviously in that first period. We had William Nylander extending his point streak to 12, getting that assist in overtime to Järnkrok, which was very, very big. Obviously, they won the game. I was expecting another loss in overtime, similar to the one in Boston. Ross and Matthews had that, big mistake, but it didn't happen. We ended up pulling off the win against the Lightning. Would you have liked to finish it in regulation when we were up by 1 goal? And then, yes, you would have. But obviously, an unfortunate one snuck through Justin Woll there, which it happens. The defense played, okay. I'm going to not even talk about that today because they're beaten up. Pretty rough, time to be a Leafs defenseman. You have Simon Benoit have his first game as a Leaf. He looked, okay. He played 14 minutes. It was actually a decent amount, but the highlight of this game was Matthew Knies. Matthew Knies was unbelievable. He finally got a chance to play with Austin Matthews. He put up 3 points, 1 goal, 2 assists, and if he can continue to do that going forward, then the sky is the limit for him, and we saw this here with the brand new top line. Look at this line of Matthews, Marner, Knies, 2 goals. They combined, for quick math here, 4 goals and 6 assists. And this was actually before the game ended, so it may have been even more. But 6 goals and 4 assists. Unbelievable. 4 goals and 6 assists. Sorry. Just an unbelievable game from that top line. Sheldon Keefe looks like a genius. It would have been nice if he maybe would have done it earlier. But as a whole, the game was phenomenal. The goaltending was phenomenal outside of Samsonov. Nick Robertson got his first point of the season. We had Matthew Knies dominate. Mitch Marner starting to show up. And speaking about Mitch Marner, let's get into it here. So Mitch Marner surpassed Doug Gilmour for sole possession of third most 3-assist games in Maple Leaf history, behind only Daryl Sittler and Borje Salming. So very, very cool. A bit of a nitpick stat. Not, too nitpick. You can see it there. Mitch Marner became the 5th player in Maple Leafs history of 50 games with 3+ points. That's an easier way than the way they worded it there in the graphic. But an overall great, and this just highlights how good Mitch Marner was in tonight's game. And again, he is always a guy who starts slow. He had a pretty rough October, but we know as Leafs fans not to worry when the Leafs are obviously not doing great in October. It's always too early, and they start to finally get their footing, and maybe this could be the game that got them their footing and really got them under, hopefully gets them going forward, because the Tampa Bay Lightning are an unbelievable... We know what they've done over the past few years winning cups. They're an unbelievable team. They're coached unbelievably. Obviously, their goalie situation with Vasilevsky being out helped the Leafs a little bit tonight because they were able to come back against their goalie. But let's just stay positive for a minute here. The Leafs played a phenomenal game outside that first period. They battled. They showed heart. They showed toughness. They showed grit. They showed resilience. The fans were down and out. They were booing their own goalie. As we've seen, Leafs fans get a little bit agitated, especially when they were such soft goals let in by Ilya Samsonov, which was very, very unfortunate. But overall, a phenomenal game for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Hopefully Samsonov can bounce back, and the Leafs showed that they have what it takes, at least tonight's game, to pull off a tough win after going down. 2 goals against the Lightning is a hard feat to come back from, especially with all the antics going on with the Liljegren stuff, the Bertuzzi stuff, the Ryan Reeves stuff. It was a good game. We can move on in the next one, and this one is over with, and we got the win, which is very, very important. I was happy to get the point, but it was good to get the win, especially after going down early after that first period, when I know a lot of Leafs fans were in doubts about the winning that one. But that'll wrap up the video. Huge shout out to Marner. Huge shout out to Matthew Knies. The whole team played very, very solid. We're going to stay positive here, and that will wrap it up. If you aren't subscribed already, go ahead and check the subscribe button. If you enjoyed this quick, post-game reaction, let me know in the comment section below. And we'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. See you then.